عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulihil kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. So continuing on with hadith number 24, we're still on the hadith Qudsi, which is directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The meaning is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the words are from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says next, Ya ibadi, innakum lan tablughu darri fatadurruni wa lan tablughu naf'i fatanfa'uni. O my slaves, that you will not be able to harm me so as to bring any harm upon me, and you will not be able to benefit me so as to bring any benefit to me. Meaning that we can't benefit Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we can't harm him, right? Something that's very simple, something that we already know. That whatever we do, no matter how much good deeds we do or how much bad deeds we do or how much money we make, nothing can affect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not going to affect him in any way, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for example, an examiner gives you a test, and the person taking the test, depending on how much he studied the night before or how much he studied at all, he'll pass the test. And if he didn't study at all, he won't pass the test. But the person taking the test, whether he passed the test or fails the test, it's not going to affect the examiner. He's just there to teach you. He's just there to guide you towards what you have to learn, and it's not going to affect the examiner in any way. He's still going to go home to his family. He'll still do whatever he wants to do. It's not going to affect him at all. Your grades will not affect the examiner. In the same way, in some aspects, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever we do, He's shown us the path already. He told us, okay, you do this, you uphold the 5 pillars, you'll get Jannah. If you don't, then there will be consequences. So for us, we're the one taking the exam of life. So depending on how we do in life, we'll reach a destination that we will deserve upon, depending on how we did in life. And nothing will affect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will always still be there. He'll always still be the most powerful. He'll always still be our God, our Rabb, right? So nothing will affect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all. And we are in need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in each and every moment of our lives, right? Ya ibadi, he then says sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, لو أن أولكم وآخركم وإنسكم وجنكم كانوا على أتقى قلب رجل واحد منكم ما زاد ذلك في ملكي شيئا. O my slaves, if the first of you and the last of you, if the humans of you and from the jinns of you, if you are all to be as pious as the most pious person, right? If you are all to be as pious as the most pious person, that will not add anything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's dominion or his kingdom, right? So if we were all, for example, as pious as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? He was the most beloved Prophet. He was the most pious amongst any of mankind. If we were all like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if we had the same iman, same piety, same taqwa, that would not add anything to Allah's dominion, right? That would not add anything to Allah's kingdom. That would not add anything to Allah's power, right? For example, you take the worldly life, like back in the old days, the kings would, they would be great kings when they had a kingdom. And the kingdom consists of people, of laborers, of workers, of soldiers. If they weren't there, if they were to rebel, then king would be useless. He wouldn't be a good king, or he wouldn't be a great king. He wouldn't be a famous king, right? For example, you take CEOs of big companies. They won't be at the place they are right now if we weren't there to work for them. If we're not there to, if there are no consumers, right? You take, for example, Google or YouTube or Facebook or WhatsApp. The more users, the more consumers there are, the more money the CEO gets, the more the company grows. So if there are no users, if there are no consumers, it's not going to grow, right? So, but in the example of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no matter how many users there are, no matter how many believers there are, no matter how many disbelievers there are, if everyone was a disbeliever in this whole world, it wouldn't affect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to say that nothing will increase the dominion of Allah, nothing will decrease the dominion and the kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya ibadi, لو أن أولكم وآخركم وإنسكم وجنكم كانوا على أفجر قلب رجل واحد ما نقص ذلك من ملكي شيئا. So he says the opposite now, that nothing, if everyone from the beginning of time to the last of time, if every human and every jinn were to be as evil and wretched as the most evil person, if everyone was just like Iblis, that will not decrease anything from Allah. It will not affect Allah. He's still going to be God. He's still going to be the most powerful, right? We can't, get rid of Allah. We can't, delete Allah. Allah is always going to be there. Then Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, Ya ibadi, لو أن أولكم وآخركم وإنسكم وجنكم قاموا في صعيد واحد فاسألوني فأعطيت كل واحد ما سألته. He says, O my slaves, O my servants, if everyone from the beginning of time and from the last of time, if all the humans and the jinns were to gather on one piece of land, right? Everyone, every single human being that passed or is still coming. If everyone were to gather on one field, فَاسْأَلُونِي, and they asked of me, they made dua, they asked something from me, فَأَعْطَيْتُ كُلَّ وَاحِدٍ مَا سَأَلْتَهُ, and I granted every single person whatever they wished for, right? Everyone's dua was accepted. مَا نَقَصَ ذَلِكَ مِمَّا عِنْدِي إِلَّا كَمَا يَنْقُصُ الْمُخِيطُ إِذَا أُدْخِلَ الْبَحْرِ, right? That would not decrease what I have any more than a needle decreases what is in the ocean when it is in it, right? So it's giving the example of a needle, right? If you put a needle into one of the largest masses in the world, which is the ocean, if you put a needle into in the water and you take it out, you're not gonna get anything because it's not a container, it's not a receptacle, it's not gonna, it's not a bucket. You're not gonna get like a pound of water or 5 liters of water. If you put a needle in the ocean and take it out, it's just gonna fall back out. It's not gonna stay. You'll maybe see a little bit, perspiration or some, sweat on the needle of water, but that's it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving the example of that even if He were to grant everyone's wishes, everyone's du'as, it will not take anything away from Allah's possession. It will not take anything from Allah's His treasury. Right? He has so much and He has unlimited. So nothing we do or nothing we ask for is greater than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why, day and night when we're praying salah, we're saying Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Right? Allah is the greatest. He's greater than everything that we can think of, that we can own, that we can possess, that we can create, that we can produce. He's greater than all of those things, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and like His treasure, His dominion is so vast and so wide that even if He were to give all, He couldn't give all, He could not give all of it away, right? In this worldly life, if I have $100 and I give Dr. Khalid $10, I have $9 left, right? It decreased from me. But when you take the example of a knowledge, perhaps that if I give someone knowledge, I'm not decreasing in anything, and that person is increasing in that. So in the same manner, if you take something from Allah's wealth or from His treasure, it's not going to decrease. That person who's getting it will increase in his wealth and whatever benefit and blessings he's getting. Then the Prophet ﷺ, he's saying that Ya ibadi innama hiya a'malukum uhsiha lakum thumma wafikum iyaha. O my servants, it is but your deeds that I reckon for you. It is but your deeds that I will count, right? Then I thumma wafikum iyaha. Then I recompense you for them. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He started off this hadith by saying that dhulm is haram upon Him. And dhulm is haram upon every single person on this earth. And the opposite of dhulm is oppression, dhulm is injustice. The opposite of dhulm is justice, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that I will reckon for you your deeds, meaning I will count each and every one of your deeds. That I will not treat you wrong. I will not, bash your rights. I will treat you with justice on the day of Qiyamah. That whatever deeds you did, whether it's in the masjid, whether it's in public, whether it's in the confines of your room or your home, in secrecy at night, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will count each and every one of those deeds. Right? He's not gonna take away your rights. Then I recompense you for them. ثُمَّ وَفِيكُمْ إِيَّاهَا فَمَنْ وَجَدَ خَيْرًا فَلْيَحْمَدِ اللَّهِ. So the Prophet ﷺ says that whosoever finds goodness, whosoever does goodness, فَلْيَحْمَدِ اللَّهِ, praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because whatever good we do is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَنْ وَجَدَ غَيْرَ ذَلِكَ, and whosoever finds something else, meaning anything besides goodness, which is, bad, evil, wretchedness, فَلَا يَلُومَنَّ إِلَّا نَفْسَهُ. And he concludes the hadith with this, that do not blame anyone but yourself. That whatever good is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever good comes to us is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have to thank Allah that, He is, we're grateful to Allah for these blessings and these bounties. And whatever we do bad, whatever bad comes in our way, or whatever, type of evil path we pursue, that is from our own selves. We can't blame anyone but ourselves, right? Sometimes, shaitan might come into our brains and say, oh, if good is from Allah, so is evil. So everything is from Allah. But that's not true, because the only good everything is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's, right? And whatever He gives to us, we have to be grateful for. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has given us the intellect, the aql, to do what we, to pursue what we can or what we want, right? If you look in the books of theology, whether you're getting into a marriage, nikah, whether you're going to Hajj, whether you're praying, every single requirement for all of these obligations of Islam, they all require aql. So if you don't have aql, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala excuses you. But if you have aql, if you're mature, then you are not excused, right? You have to follow the rules. You have to, there's guidelines, you follow them. If you don't, then that's your choice, right? Then that bad comes from you, right? فَلَا يَلُومَنَّ إِلَّا نَفْسَهُ. Do not blame anyone but yourself. And that concludes the hadith. I just want to go over the translation of the whole hadith really quickly in English so that we have an overview of the whole hadith. So this is a hadith Qudsi, right? The meaning of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the words of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So on the authority of Abu Dharr al-Ghifari, may Allah be pleased with him, from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, from among the sayings he relates from his Lord, Allah Azza wa Jal, that he said, O my servants, I have forbidden wrongdoing for myself, and I have made it forbidden for you. Therefore do not wrong one another. Right? Dhulm is haram upon Allah, and it's haram upon ourselves. And I mentioned this before, that any kind of dhulm, right? Whether it's actual oppression, whether it's littering in the world, whether it's backbiting, right? Any kind of dhulm. Even treating people differently is a type of dhulm, right? If you treat a wealthy person, because treat a wealthy person nicely, if you treat someone who has a status or a degree nicely, that's also dhulm, right? Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that he told the Sahaba of that time that the people before you, they were all punished because whenever a noble person from them would do something, would steal or do some kind of sin, they would let it go. They would let it slide. But if a weak person amongst them, if a poor person amongst them did something, they would punish them. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, he swore on himself and on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that if Fatima bint Muhammad radiallahu ta'ala anha were to steal something, she would get her hands cut also. Meaning that no one is excused from the obligations of deen. No one excused, it doesn't matter how much money or wealth or poverty or what color or what race or what walk of life you become, everyone is equal. Right? The dhulm is haram upon every single creation, including Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? He made it haram upon himself. He then says, therefore do not wrong one another. O my servants, all of you are lost except for those whom I have guided. Right? We have to seek guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, seek guidance from me, right? And for example, the opposite of a dhulm is justice. And justice requires knowledge. You can't be just without knowing how to be just, right? So we have to seek knowledge and guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? That's why they come hand in hand. O my servants, all of you are hungry except for those whom I have fed. Therefore seek food from me, and I will feed you. Our sustenance, our nourishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. O my servants, all of you are naked except for those whom I have clothed. Therefore seek clothing from me, and I will clothe you. Right? Everything we get, our libas, our clothing, our outer, for our outer appearances, and our clothing for our taqwa as well. We have to keep renewing and refreshing our iman so that our clothing, our garment of piety also, it keeps renewing as well. O my servants, you sin by night and you sin by day, and I forgive all of sins. Therefore seek forgiveness from me, and I will forgive you. We have to engage all the time in repentance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially, tawbah. Tawbah means, literally not going back to the deed, to the sin. You commit a sin, but you keep going back. That's not tawbah. Tawbah is when you are, adamant and you are consistent enough to stay away from that sin. O my servants, you will not be able to harm me so as to bring any harm to me, and you will not be able to benefit me so as to bring any benefit to me. O my servants, of the first and the last of you, and the human and the jinn of you, whereas pious is the most pious heart of anyone among you, it will not add anything to my dominion. O my servants, if the first and the last of you, and the human and the jinn of you, whereas wicked is the most wicked heart of anyone among you, it will not decrease anything from my dominion, as I already mentioned. O my servants, if the first and the last of you, and the human and the jinn of you, were to gather together on one same piece of land, and all asked of me, all made dua to Allah, and if I were to give everyone of what they asked to accept everyone's dua, that would not decrease what I have any more than a needle decreases what is in the ocean when it is put into it. O my servant, it is but your deeds that I reckon for you, then I recompense you for them. The one who finds good is to give praises to Allah, to say Alhamdulillah. The one who finds other than this should not blame anyone but himself. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran also that فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا Whoever does an atom like worth amount of a good deed, yarahu, he'll see that in the day of Qiyamah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not let that slide. وَمَن يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا, and whoever does a sin at the size of an atom, yarahu, they will all see that on the day of Qiyamah. That whether you do good, you'll still see it, and if you do sin also, be careful, repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ask forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive each and every one of us, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let us practice upon the hadith and the Quran and implement all of these things into our life so that we can live a better life, that we can make, be a better role model and example for our family and our generations, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.